All right, so are you ready to dive into something a little different today? We're tackling a source called texting attraction, the art of obsession.
Oh, wow, that title.
Yeah, it definitely caught my eye too. But hold on, before you think we're going to delve into some dark arts of manipulation.
Yeah.
This deep dive is more about the psychology behind communication,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to texting.
hmm
Is this guy all hype or are there some actual valuable insights?
I'm curious.
Yeah, me too. So it claims to have figured out how to make someone obsessed with you through texting. Bold claim, right?
It is, yeah.
So let's break it down, see if this secret formula actually holds any water. One of the first things it says is ditch those super generic interview style texts.
You know what I mean?
Like, how are you? How
It's
are you?
like-
What's up? What are you doing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if you're getting those texts, does it really make you, excited to respond?
I mean, not really.
Not really. It's just like, okay.
It's missing that spark.
Yeah.
That element of surprise that actually makes you want to write back.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think it's because our brains crave novelty.
Hmm.
We're just wired to be drawn to something new and exciting.
Totally. So how does this guide say we inject that excitement into our texts?
Well, they have these 4 key elements of an obsession-triggering text.
Obsession triggering. Okay.
Sounds a bit intense, but the psychology behind it is pretty fascinating.
Okay, lay it on me. What's the first element?
It's called the curiosity hook.
Curiosity hook.
Yeah. Basically, you're piquing their interest with a little mystery,
Okay.
making them want more. They give some examples like, "You won't believe what I just found out about you."
Oh.
Or, "I just realized something insane about you, but I don't know if I should tell you."
Okay, I see where they're going with this.
Right.
Like almost dangling a little carrot, making them curious enough to bite.
Yeah.
But does that feel manipulative?
It depends on how it's done. But the interesting part is it's tapping into our need for closure. Our brains hate unanswered questions.
That's so true. Yeah.
So we almost have to find out the answer.
We're compelled. Okay, I like it. So it's less about manipulation and more about understanding how our brains work.
Exactly.
Okay, so curiosity hook is element 1. What's next?
Element number 2 is all about personalization.
Ooh, personalization. I like that.
Yeah. Generic compliments just don't really work.
They're kind of boring.
They're boring, exactly. Instead, they say to focus on observations that make the person feel seen.
Okay.
You're really paying attention.
Yeah.
So instead of "you're funny," you could say, "I just realized your music taste is kind of dangerous. I might end up liking you too much."
Ooh, I like that one.
Right.
It's way more specific.
It's so much more specific, and it makes them feel like you're paying attention to the things that make them unique.
Yeah.
And that's really powerful.
Feels good. Okay, curiosity hook and personalization. What else?
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Element 3 is the emotional spike.
Emotional spike.
Yeah. Their point is people don't fall for logic. They fall for feelings.
So we're talking about triggering emotions with our texts.
Yeah. Crafting a message that evokes a real response.
Okay.
They have examples like, "I have to admit, I didn't expect to enjoy talking to you this much," or "There's something about you that's seriously distracting me today." Not fair.
Okay.
A little bit flirty, a little bit fun.
Yeah, I can see how those could work, but it's is there a line between evoking emotions and
Yeah.
being too much?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's all about balance.
Okay.
And being authentic. You want to show genuine interest, create that sense of shared emotion.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like that idea of emotional mirroring. If you trigger a positive emotion in someone, they might start to feel that way about you.
Interesting. Okay. So we've got curiosity, personalization, emotions. What's the final element of this texting formula?
The last one is the playful cliffhanger.
Playful cliffhanger.
It's, again, leaving them wanting more, but in a fun, flirty way.
It's like the text message equivalent of a cliffhanger ending on a show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're left hanging.
You got to know what happens next. Okay.
Right. And they suggest using phrases like, "I could tell you what I just realized, but then you might get too confident," or "You probably won't believe me if I say it, so I'm not sure if I should."
Okay. I can see those working.
Yeah.
Getting people to reply. But does it all feel a little formulaic, though? You're just plugging in these elements without really, connecting with the person.
That's a good point. And it's something we should definitely talk more about because while understanding these principles can be helpful, you have to use them ethically.
Right, because ultimately we're trying to build real connections, not just manipulate people into texting us back.
Exactly. So we've been talking about the secret formula
Yeah, for texting.
for texting to make people obsessed with you.
Right.
But before we get into like the specifics of these techniques, it's good to like zoom out a little
Okay.
and think about how texting fits into like the bigger picture of communication and relationships.
Yeah, especially in like the digital age.
Exactly. Like, is it all...
Is it good? Is it bad?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I think it's easy to get caught up in like,
The perfect text.
the perfect text. Yeah.
Not a strategy.
But we also need to think about how its effect on like all of our communication, like
Yeah.
how we're interacting as a whole.
Right. Because on the one hand, texting has like revolutionized how we communicate.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can connect with anyone instantly,
Mm-hmm.
anywhere in the world.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Like we can share information, make plans, stay in touch with people. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's like having this constant conversation,
Yeah.
like flowing through our fingers.
Yeah. But that can also be a little overwhelming.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like
But-
the immediacy of it can make you feel like you have to respond right away.
Always on call,
Yes, exactly.
even in your personal life.
Yeah. Even when you're like, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it can be exhausting.
It can be exhausting.
So like, what's the answer here?
I think it's about setting boundaries.
Yeah.
And making sure you prioritize like your own well-being.
Put your phone down sometimes.
Put your phone down.
Disconnect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that balance is going to be different for everyone.
Oh, for sure.
It's figuring out what works for you
Yeah.
and communicating that to the people you're talking to.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So that's one side of it.
Yeah.
But another potential downside of texting is like misunderstandings.
Oh, so many.
Because so much of how we communicate
Yeah.
is like our tone of voice,
Their facial expressions.
all that
it's-
stuff.
And it's just gone when you're texting.
Gone.
Right.
Yeah. And it's so easy to misinterpret something.
Yeah, like a simple word. Like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
could mean a million different things.
It could mean I'm mad at you. It could mean I'm fine. Like,
Absolutely different.
right.
Yeah.
And that can lead to like unnecessary arguments or hurt feelings.
100%, yeah.
So are we saying we should all just like give up texting? Go back to carrier pigeons.
Back to the pigeons. I mean,
I kind of like that idea.
it would be peaceful in a way.
Yeah.
But, you know, face-to-face is always best.
Yeah.
But texting can be so useful, especially when, like, you can't see somebody in person.
It's a good tool.
Yeah.
We just got to use it the right way.
Exactly.
So it's about being aware of the limitations of texting
Yeah.
and using it strategically to like add to our in-person conversations and relationships.
Yes, I love that.
And if you're not sure about the tone of a text,
Yeah.
just ask.
Just clarify, yeah.
Right, before jumping to conclusions.
Exactly. And, like, if you're having a tough conversation,
Yeah.
maybe call them.
Yeah, or video chat or something.
Just don't rely on text for that.
Yeah, it's not always the best tool for that.
Not always.
Okay, so bringing it back to this source, and their secret formula for texting,
Mm.
it seems like the big takeaway here is
What is it?
even though these techniques can give us some interesting insights
Yeah.
into the psychology of texting,
Yeah.
we have to look at them critically.
I agree.
Yeah.
We can't take them as, like, gospel truth.
Yeah, it's not that simple.
Yeah, it's like we've been given these tools,
Right.
but we got to figure out how to use them responsibly,
Ethically.
ethically, with good intentions.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
it's about real connections,
Real connection.
not just getting people to text us back.
Right.
Okay, so speaking of the secret formula,
Yeah.
remember that copy-paste text we were going to look at?
Oh, yeah, the magic text,
The magic text?
the one that has all 4 elements.
Yeah, are you ready to break it down?
Let's do it.
All right. So we're back, and we've been talking all about texting attraction.
Really diving deep into this secret formula.
Yeah, trying to figure out if these obsession-triggering texts are the real deal or just hype.
We've seen how they use psychology to tap into those desires for connection, validation, intrigue, all that.
Exactly. And of course, we've also talked about how to use this stuff ethically, authentically.
Because, you know, building genuine connections, that's what it's all about.
For sure. But okay, remember that copy-paste text? The one that supposedly has all 4 elements of this secret formula.
The one that's going to make everyone fall in love with us.
Hey, if it works, it works.
I'm ready to see it.
Okay, so here it is. Drum roll, please. I just realized something crazy about you, but I can't tell you yet. You might get too confident.
All right, breakdown time.
Yeah, well, let's dissect this thing. So right away, we've got the curiosity hook.
Oh, yeah, something crazy about you.
Definitely grabs your attention.
Makes you want to know more.
You got to find out what it is. And then we've got the playful cliffhanger,
Can't tell you yet.
leaving them hanging.
And of course, the winky face just adds to that playfulness.
That little flirtation. But wait, where's the personalization and the emotional spike? I don't see it.
It's subtle, but it's there. The personalization is in that phrase, something crazy about you.
Oh, you're right.
Like the sender saying, I've been paying attention. I see something unique in you.
Okay, I get it. It's directed at the person, not just a random statement.
Exactly. And the emotional spike that's more implied,
Okay.
it's creating that intrigue, the anticipation. It lets the other person's imagination run wild.
Like, I find you interesting and maybe a little mysterious, but they don't actually say it.
Exactly. It lets the other person fill in the blanks with their own feelings.
Okay, so it kind of hits all the elements.
It does.
But does it feel genuine? Like, I don't know.
I hear you. It feels a little bit like playing a game, right?
A little bit.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee that this text is going to work on everyone.
People are complicated.
Yeah, and attraction. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing.
Exactly. It's not like you send this text and boom, everyone's in love with you.
Wouldn't that be nice, though?
It would make things a lot easier.
Right.
But yeah.
But it's more about, like, being yourself.
Being authentic.
Being genuine. Like, these techniques, they can be tools.
Tools in the toolbox.
But they can't replace actually connecting with someone.
Real connection, respect.
Exactly.
Okay, well, that brings us to the end of our texting attraction deep dive. We've learned a lot about these obsession-triggering techniques, the psychology behind them, how texting can impact our communication and relationships. It's been a journey.
It has. And hopefully we've all learned to be a little more mindful and intentional with how we communicate, not just through text, but in all areas of our lives.
So as we sign off, just think about your own texting habits. Are you using any of these techniques without even realizing it?
Or are you making any of those texting faux pas we talked about?
Food for thought, right?
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.